Hello, and welcome to my podcast, The Melancholy Guy Talks. And right now, I'm talking about recovery, living with addiction. This is basically a podcast about my life, The Melancholy Guy, daring to be black, open, and free. My adventures while being an open, polyamorous, African-American male living in recovery. I am The Melancholy Guy, Calvin, or CPJR if you know me. And today, I definitely believe that change I must and die I will. You can find me all over social media by searching for The Melancholy Guy, but I mostly hang out on Instagram. If you first search for me on Instagram, you will find a link in my bio that will basically lead you to everywhere else I am on Instagram, on Tumblr, on Facebook. Also, you'll find a link to my Patreon page that is there set up to basically give you the chance to donate $1 or $5 a month if you want to help pitch in to make this podcast longer. Like I said, right now the podcast is only 15 minutes, and because I'm doing it all on my own, and like I said, I haven't been working, but great news, I took an offer this week and I will be working soon in about 30 days. So right now, today is today is March 2nd, and today is the 44th day since I've not chosen to use the drug of my choice, or I've not actually have used the drug of my choice. I've been 44 days clean, and right now we're talking about my first 90 days, part 3, episode 47 of recovery. And basically I've been talking about what it is to be in recovery, what it is to live in recovery. And I've been talking about the first 90 days of recovery. I think what I've done, I've talked about step 1, 2, and 3, and I basically attributed those steps to, those steps are about basically finding out what you're going to do, or how you're going to go about. First it is about accepting that you have a problem and that you need to get in recovery, that you need to be in recovery. And once you do that, you need to figure out what you're going to do to actually recover or make a change in your life. So those, basically most people go through what's called the 12 steps. And I talked about that and what that means to me. I talked about how I kind of attend meetings. I go to online meetings, but I kind of like put the steps in my life and practice the steps, and are loosely implementing the steps in my life. But I'm working my own little hybrid type program that I put together, and for me right now it's working. And if I get signs that it's not working, I'm gonna do something else. For me right now, I definitely know that I have to change. Like I said in the beginning of my podcast, change I must or die I will. That's real for me. So what I want to do today is I basically want to just recap a little bit about what's happening in my life right now, and then just move forward with step 4, 5, and 6. All those in 3. So like I said right now, ever since this, I've 44 days or 50 days ago, I knew that I was in trouble. I knew that things were definitely going wrong. I was kind of in a panic state. And I knew that I had to just stop everything, refocus, come up with some attention in my life, and figure out what I'm going to do next. And basically I just sat down and first I said I need to, start figure out what I'm going to do about recovering. How am I going to change? And then I set about saying, well, I needed to get a job. And I figured out, set attention on what type of job I wanted. And then I just set about looking for that. And then I just opened myself up to, whatever the universe was going to bring my way. Because I did a pretty good job of clearing everything out of my life. So I pretty much just open to what it is that the universe will bring into my life in order to keep me moving forward. And that's what's pretty much been happening. Like I said, a beautiful friend came back into my life, someone very important to me, and we decided to move forward with that. And then last week, I accepted a job that I really wanted. at a place that I really want to work at, and a location that I like to work at in this area. And I started that job on March 30th. So, things are looking forward. Now, all that stuff is falling into place. So, it's going to be very important for me going forward to keep that same momentum going. You know what I mean? Like, getting a job, getting friends in my life, getting people in my life has never been a problem or an issue. The problem and issue for me has always been, keeping those things in my life. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about or focusing on now. And I was talking about the 14 steps for a successful first 90 days. I'm gonna go over I'm just gonna say the first three right away. It's like create and keep a daily schedule. I talked about that. It was make meetings a priority. I talked about how I don't make meetings a priority. I do something else. But if you need to go to meetings, if you need to go to, and I do go to online meetings. I cannot stress how important it is to just be in an environment of recovery. And that means just being around other addicts who are going through the same thing as you, who are recovering, who are putting recovery into their life. Not just abstaining from using, because you can't just abstain. From my experience and from what I know, you can't just stop using. It may work for some, but for most people, and myself included, it doesn't work, because you basically will go back. Like I said yesterday, I talked about Russell Brand, the 5 points of the cycle. I talked about the 5-point guide to the cycles of addiction from Russell Brand's book Recovery, and it stated how you go from pain to pain. So if you aren't going to do anything to address the reason why you are going back or using is usually to cover up some pain or to compensate for some pain or some trauma. If you don't address that, how you've been coping with that, which is using some substance, you're just going to go back to that. You know what I mean? You're just going to be a destructive. Like I said before, if you've ever heard the term dry drunk, it's real. If you ever have known anyone, including yourself, just think if you are an addict or have any type of substance abuse issues or any type of abuse issues, you know that if you stop doing something, you get irritable, you get upset, and you kind of have to adjust to not having that substance in your life. So basically, that's what being a dry drunk is, and you're gonna go back to medicating yourself or going back to that substance. So it's important that you put a plan in place, a program in place to change. And then number 3 was find a sponsor or a trusted mentor or a therapist. And that's, like I said, some type of spiritual person or a sponsor if you're in the meetings. And I want to say this about a sponsor. I had a couple sponsors when I was in the 12-step program. I can't say, like, I know they give you guidelines. A sponsor should be someone with so many years and this kind of stuff. But I never really I'm a very difficult person, I think, to connect with. And I very much am like, I kind of got to go off energy. I got to feel you. You know what I mean? I got to feel that energy connection. And I got to vibe with you in order for me to even want to continue to build a relationship with you. And I kind of don't think I ever had that with the guys who I chose as sponsors. They're great guys, great in the program, had good clean time, really were program people or like NA people. But for me, it just wasn't. Maybe I wasn't in the right place. That may have been it. I may have not been in the right place in order to get what I needed from them. But they were both willing to give it. You know what I mean? They were both willing to be there for me to call them every night and all that kind of stuff. So it was probably much on me. So I'm gonna go to the next. I'm gonna do the next 4 steps. I think I'm doing them 3 at a time. So the 4th step is continue seeing your doctor or therapist. That's basically continue doing what you're doing. 5, create a safe environment for yourself. And 6, ask for help from your loved ones. And for me, what I got from that is like, set the stage for relapse prevention. So basically, once you got yourself in the program, you're doing well. You got a sponsor, and it's time to start thinking about, for me, it's 47 days. I'm like at almost at like the halfway point, like 3 months. Was it? No, I'm sorry. 60 days. I'm a little bit over that. All right, yeah, I'm 1 day from the halfway point, 45 days. So I got to start thinking about, especially now that, I'm going back to work soon, how am I going to handle, like, triggers and things like that? Like, what am I going to do? I've already made the decision in my life for the first time in a long time that alcohol is out. I'm no longer drinking. And that's just something that I know. It's not something that, it was alcohol. I got to ask, was alcohol a problem? Yes. For me, alcohol was a problem. And the problem with alcohol was that it was just always there. You know what I mean? Like, it was just there. I could always just grab, a bottle of vodka, and I could just drink it every night and then go to work, or drink it every night and go off and do something stupid. It was just always there for me to grab it. And then if I feel bored, or if I feel like I want to do something, instead of thinking about doing something creative or doing something that's good for me, it's just easy for me just to go and grab a bottle of vodka. I'll fix a drink. You know what I'm saying? Some creative drink. I had a drink mixer, do that app, and I used to find drinks in that, mix those drinks, and I used to make a sangria. You know what I'm saying? That was an activity. Drinking was an activity that I thought was fun. Really, it was just something to avoid doing something that was really real and creative. And that's why I'm gonna say this too, though. When it says number 6, ask your loved ones, ask for help from your loved ones. It's important that you include your friends and your family, whether it be your blood family or your chosen family. That's gonna be important, because basically you're gonna be rebuilding, or I'm rebuilding a new life. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I isolate a lot, so I have to think about, what am I going to do? Who am I going to call? When I'm bored or want to do something different, I want to try an activity, and because I have to move a certain way because of I'm also doing relapse prevention. I gotta have people on my team that understands and know what I'm doing. You dig what I'm saying? That's not giving me a hard time. That kind of knows the flow of where I'm going. So it's important to build that team, because like I said, you're setting that stage for your relapse prevention to get ready for that what's going to happen after the first 90 days. And that's what basically what I'm doing now is, if you see me, I'm starting to get out more, spending time with my anchor partner, more, and just starting to build a life, man, that's different from what I've had before. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. I said we're talking about continue seeing your doctor or therapist, create a safe environment for yourself, and ask help for your loved ones. So I'm gonna leave it right there, and I'm gonna come back next week with with some more of the first 90 days. I think we're on step 6, so we'll pick up at step 7 next time. And right now, you know what I want to do? I want to have a moment of silence for the still suffering addict. If you're suffering from addiction, or need someone to talk to or help, just hit me up. Find me on Instagram or anything like that, or I can help point you in the right direction. Like I said, I'm still brand new, but I'm sure that I could point you in the right direction, or just reach out to someone for some help. Thanks for listening, okay? And always remember to love and respect yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Peace and namaste.